Today is March 2nd. I'm 4 days out from my surgery, which was the partial hysterectomy I had done on February 26th. And all I can say is you probably can't tell, but I'm just super sweaty. My face and my back are all sweaty. I guess I'm learning that the true difference between menopause and perimenopause. I always thought that once your period was over with for a year, that was the end of menopause. I didn't know that that's when you started and you still had symptoms like hot flashes and things like that. Like my back was on fire, still warm right now. But that's not what I really wanted to talk about. There's so much that I want to say. I probably should just should have done a regular setup because this might be longer than I thought. I am sitting here in my parents' house because they insisted on caring for me while I recover from my surgery. That light is in the way. So I spent the last few days over here. The back of my neck is just so sweating profusely. Oh my God. I'm just hot and my hair is a mess under here, but I gotta take that off because I'm just hot. A lot of things have happened. I don't even know where to start. So yeah, I don't know where I want to start. Let's just say that 2026 is going to be a good year. In 2025, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression at the early part of 2025. I actually went into a intensive outpatient treatment for anxiety due to panic attacks I was having at work. In November, from there, I ended up in an eating disorder clinic for partial hospitalization. So I was there full time, 7 days a week, like the whole month of December, pretty much, up until Christmas Eve. From the end of November, I started right after Thanksgiving and went through Christmas Eve. Then I went to a virtual intensive outpatient program where we met 3 nights a week. So we had 15 hours a week of that, plus an hour of therapy and an hour of dietitian. So 17 hours a week program. I did that from the 24th of December up until February 25th. Then the very next day, I had my partial hysterectomy because of the immense bleeding that my fibroids were causing me. I had 3 big ones. They weren't huge. They were they said the size of a tangerine or clementine. But one was in my uterine lining, so it was causing me a lot of pain, discomfort, and a whole lot of bleeding. It's so crazy. I went to my primary care earlier this year, and I had just mentioned I felt like I was bleeding heavier than usual. Because when I really sat and thought about it, I'm going through a Super Plus tampon and a pad every 2 hours. And all of a sudden, I just don't even remember when it got that bad. So I'm saying all this to say that when I think about me having the panic attacks and the stress from my job, was combined with the lack of eating properly, fasting throughout the day and binge eating on the weekends, to the heavy bleeding and the anemia that my body was going through. It was like all of that at once just was like hitting a brick wall. Plus, I'm in school still working on my doctorate for my superintendent endorsement. So the combination of all of that just sent me on a whirlwind. What I learned from my clinical treatment was a lot. I learned that I had I'm rubbing my belly, it hurts. I had a severe issue with my body and body image issues to the point where it was affecting my quality of life. So didn't want to go outside, didn't want to wear clothes, affected my relationship because I didn't want to be out with him. A lot of things happened as a result of that. When I looked in the mirror, I saw a much bigger person than what I really am, and I'm already a plus size girl. My chest is, to me, it's almost deformed that it's so big. Like my chest is so huge that I just can't stand looking at myself. I had an issue with my body proportion, like my hip to butt ratio. Like a lot of things came out. I suffer with perfectionism and wanting to being a people pleaser, and a lack of boundaries in relationships that included work. And so I learned a lot about myself in a short amount of time. So I'm just looking forward to this month because this year, because last year when I started Saving Our Legacy, it was all about saving Kendall, my daughter, who was going through some severe anxiety and depression. She got saved last year. She's doing better than me right now. It was like the roles reversed and I ended up hospitalized instead of her. So just want to share some of my journey and how I'm going to work past all of this and finally, I think, get the breakthrough I need to lose the weight that I need to lose in a healthy, responsible way now that I've figured out all these extra pieces that were a part of this puzzle. So now I'm getting all together. You see I'm flushed. I'm like I'm sweating so profusely. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, real. I guess this is what a hot flash is. Yeah, but that's the overall view of my story. I'll break it down into little pieces later, but just want to check in with everybody and say hello. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's crazy. Whew, 4 days without my uterus, and this is what's happening. All right, but I'll check in with you all later because I'm gonna spend some time with God. I got my handy Bible in a year journal. Maybe I'll break this down on a different video. And then this book I actually found from my dad. Welcome to the Basement. So it's a good book about Jesus Christ and his journey and his walk with the Lord. Yeah, so that's that. Check y'all later. Bye.